Roleplayer Adventures was published in 2021 by Thunderworks Games. It was designed by Keith Mateka, Peter Andrew Ryan, and James William Ryan. It was illustrated by G.J. Ariosa, Damian Mamalidi, Rainer Petter, Lucas Ribeiro, Shen Fei, and Veronica Fedorova. In it, 1 to 4 players navigate the world, battle fierce monsters, and balance their own needs against the world's 3 major factions. Players move around the map to locations, interact with characters and/or objects, fight enemies, and/or attempt skill checks by playing cards and manipulating dice. When visiting a location, read that storybook entry, then resolve one of the given choices. The book gives options depending on how you want to proceed, what keywords you've unlocked during gameplay, what title cards you've earned, and so on. There are 6 double-sided maps, 12 storybooks, and an encounter book. I don't want to spoil these, but you'll earn keywords and title cards depending on what decisions and actions you took during gameplay. Keywords are recorded on your party journal and apply to the current adventure only. Title cards are collected and apply to both current scenario and future ones. You can import characters from Roleplayer. If you haven't played it before, don't worry, this comes with 36 class cards and portraits. Your character has a class ability plus unique attributes that can level up. In skill checks or fights, spend stamina to pull specific dice of the 6 colors. After this, or if you choose not to, randomly pull dice equal to your dice limit. Finally, roll the dice and play cards to modify them in order to pass the checks. Combat is usually round-based, you only have 1 chance to pass a skill. If you fail, you may still earn experience and/or gold depending what dice you did match, and the story continues in some way. If your entire party becomes exhausted, the game is not over. Specific situations in the book will guide you if all members of your party are out of stamina. The party journal is where you restore, earn gold, and XP, both of which can be carried over between adventures, as well as track dice limits, keywords, faction acceptance, and more. Adventure progress is saved thanks to this in your character sheet. There are 2 types of cards. Spent ones are indicated by an icon, and art retrieved for combat or checks. To get these back, regain stamina cubes and your unique ability, and return bonus tokens. You must rest. Spend a number of XP to roll that many dice. The pit value shows how many cubes are returned to the supply. Your personal values fully recover. You won't always be able to rest, so do so when you can. On the other hand, rest too often and it'll use up your XP, preventing you from upgrading as much as you like between sessions. When upgrading, sell cards, spend gold to buy cards, and spend XP to improve your character's attributes and add bonus tokens and/or combat dice. To break down, move, interact, roll, play cards, and make choices that affect the world and your characters. That's Roleplayer Adventures. Our games of Roleplayer Adventures, including Setup and Takedown, have averaged 3 hours. The area needed is at least 3 feet by 4 feet. You have the party journal, map, and enemy components in the central area, plus large player areas. That's not counting the encounter and storybooks, which we keep on the benches next to us. You might not have that option. We play games as a family, but this could be a great solo experience because there would be no downtime. On the other hand, you miss out on others' observations. It's fun for me when we debate choices or play our cards in clever ways to desperately avoid failure. In other words, I think no matter what the player count is, it works. I'll talk about adding a new player later in my review. A 9-year-old could easily handle the limited map and will likely understand the rules. The hand management, narrative, and choices that affect the entire game mean this is probably best saved for 10 to 11-year-olds. If your kid is playing D&D younger than that though, they'll be fine here. In our 5th game of Roleplayer Adventures, our good friend the rathole.ca Dave Chapman joined us. Because we had added a new member to the team, it gave us a new set of manipulators, but we also had another person to be mindful of in terms of stamina and HP. It was a fun experience, and the drop-in, drop-out mechanism, which I'll talk more about later, is done incredibly well. Roleplayer Adventures adventure books have some of the best writing I've ever seen in a board game. The choices have a real effect on the game and world. The art design pulls you in even further. The rules can be a bit much at first, but after a short while, you'll get the flow. It helps that the rulebook is quite good. Finally, even the lengthy setup and takedown isn't too bad because of the excellent inserts. As I explained earlier, this isn't just a choose-your-own-adventure game. The keyword system gives you a precise order to follow when you visit a location. You can play the exact same characters, but the choices you make will anger some characters' factions or encourage others to view you as an ally. Maybe you visit a location but failed to check instead of passing it. There are a ton of variables here. If you play with an open hand, there can be some quarterbacking when a player sees your cards and tells you what to do. No matter what, it's a rare turn you aren't in some way engaged because all players are scanning their cards, trying to find some way to flip or change that last die in order to pass a check. Because it's the three of us, the majority decided what to do. If playing with an even number of people, you'll need to figure out how to break ties and making important choices. Drop in, drop out is so easy. Let the new player take a few moments to make their hand, write on their sheet, and so on while everyone else sets up the game. At that point, you play as normal. It's like you visited a new region and met someone with similar goals. If they leave after a single session, then maybe they found another party or stayed behind while you all moved on. Despite the ease of adding new players, you probably won't be bringing this game along your travels. I think the box is even bigger than Gloomhaven's, and it's heavy. You roll dice before every check, but the amount of mitigation is impressive. First, you could have spent stamina to buy dice, then your ability, the Breathborn Psionic for example, can adjust them. Then your cards can flip, re-roll, add whatever else is needed. Then you have your bonus play tokens to play additional cards, not to mention the combat dice limit you can increase between scenarios to add dice to your initial pool. Every check in this game is a collaborative puzzle. There can be downtime in the rare times the dice, to quote Our Family Plays Games, aren't nice. If your hand mostly adjusts blues and purples, but your pulled dice are whites, blacks, and greens, oof. Spoiler warning, in one scenario, we temporarily lost all of our cards of a certain type. Poor Dad was useless for most of that session. Leveling up between rounds is well done. XP and gold are shared among the group to be spent how you want. Unspent XP is tracked in your party journal. Depending on your race and skills, you might score a sweet discount when buying cards. You can sell cards for 2 gold if you help buy what you need. Like XP, unspent gold is tracked. As you advance, it gets more expensive to increase attributes, tokens, and dice limits, so choose wisely. The expansion, Nephros Judgment, is a fantastic addition. It adds backstories for every playable character and gives you 4 side missions, all with their own choices and rewards, that are easily added to the main game without adding much extra time. Roleplay Adventures is an RPG-like campaign game with a ton of replayability thanks to the players themselves, dice, cards, your choices, past choices, storybooks, and the encounter book. You could have had static characters, no dice, no cards, and this would still be replayable thanks to the choices and those thick books. Oh, and if you have the expansion, Nephros Judgment, each of the 40 plus character roles have a rewarding side quest to explore. This doesn't give the feel of dungeon crawling like Perdition's Mouth, but the dice and card system plus the narrative absolutely blows away Altar Quest and the disappointing Dice Throne Adventures. RPG fans looking for a board game should seriously consider this.